Where you were born and the situation surrounding you may never stop you from realizing your dream and what is meant to be in life. Being born a farm girl and growing up with traits of a tomboy was never enough to stop her from becoming a beauty queen. The Miss Malaika pageant in Zimbabwe can never be associated with any other name other than Brita Masalethulini.
My name is Brita Masalethulini. I am a citizen of this country, Zimbabwe. Born and raised on a farm called Farm, and that was on the outskirts of Harare. If anyone is familiar with the Glen, that's where I was raised. But I was actually born on Kroger Farm 2 years before we moved to Farm.
Brita Masalethulini is a Zimbabwean model who rose to fame in 2001 after she was crowned Miss Malaika. The now defunct Miss Malaika pageant, especially in the southern part of Africa, was meant to take the African beauty to the world.
Yeah, Miss Malaika was one of the most challenging pageants I've ever done, considering it was a new pageant at the time. And it was an African pageant. It was founded by a gentleman named Mr. Ernest Jovi from Benin. Well, he was based in Nigeria, but he had also lived in the United States. So he wanted to bring African beauty to the fore, because he was saying that a lot of pageants around the world are not recognizing African beauty. And there's certain standards which we cannot necessarily relate to as Africans. So he decided to launch this particular pageant and bring about women of African descent to come and compete and celebrate the beauty of African origin, which is the tagline for the Miss Malaika pageant. So I just happened to be chosen amongst 4 other ladies from Zimbabwe, and I made it into the finals with another lady called Kamchumai Matigidi, but unfortunately she didn't get to compete in the finals with me. And yeah, it's still happening, but not necessarily as an international pageant. You find there are countries such as Ghana who are still hosting it at the moment for their own reasons. And we're still pushing it. I know a lot of other West African countries are pushing it, but here in Southern Africa we haven't had it for many years.
A firstborn in a family of 4 girls with the traits of a tomboy, no one ever thought Brita would one day become a household name in Zimbabwean pageantry. Even Brita herself never thought she would be crowned the queen of African beauty at some point.
Growing up, I was a tomboy. It was like a pure contrast. You can't see it because it's all masked. You know what? You get panel beaten. I was a very, adventurous young lady. I was nothing like a model. In no shape or form. My skin was bad, my hair was something else. And yes, I just didn't see myself as that.
In 1985, while doing her grade 1, Brita entered into the Little Miss Muffet modeling competition, which to her was nothing but one of those childish acts which never signaled anything serious. Even the resultant win never meant anything to Brita then.
When I was in grade 1, I competed in my first pageant. I didn't know what it was until now. It all makes sense now when you're much older. And that was the Miss Muffet, Little Miss Muffet pageant, which happened at Greaterman's department store many years back. So we're looking at 1985. Yes, I was just told to walk up and down with a rampant smile. And yeah, next thing I'm told I won the pageant. I'm very excited because I walked away with a hammer. That's what I wanted. Everything else didn't make sense to me. But I did then do commercials, TV commercials as a result, and moving on, later on, I was not going into the pageant queen type of girl. I had no traits of a beauty queen or a model. I didn't see myself as one.
From the humble beginnings where Brita had to participate in high school pageantry, modeling was never something she took seriously, but something she would do just for fun.
When I was in Form 4, and this was at Queen Elizabeth Girls High, Angeline Musasiwa that year, in 1994, caused a stir when she won, well, let's say she came 4th at the Miss World Beauty pageant. And so everything was about Angie. And we were all excited about her. She became like the epitome of what beauty was. And so takafurana a friend of mine at school. Let's compete in the high school pageant. And at QE, it's actually really being ambitious because this is a bevy of beauties from all backgrounds. And so she talked me into it. I was terribly shy. I did it anyway. And funny enough, I came forth and I was very proud of myself. But I then wanted to find out, okay, why did I come forth? And so I asked one of the judges after, and he simply said, you were not confident. You kept looking down. You didn't seem like you seemed very self-conscious. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is why the other girls won, besides them being very beautiful girls. And then fast forward, when I went to Vanilla High School, I wanted to compete in the pageant. Unfortunately, I was rejected before I could even sign up.
Why?
I have no idea. I'm still trying to ask that question to this day. But it was a good thing because it kind of gave me a bit of a drive to say maybe there's something I need to work on which can help me to become a good model. And I say model / beauty queen because there is a bit of a difference. So there's a lot I needed to learn first before I could then put myself in.
In 1999, Brita had to drop out of tertiary education at a local college in the third year of her studies, where she was doing graphic designing in order to pursue a newfound love for modeling.
Miss World was happening that year, 1999. It's the year I was supposed to be writing, so there was a conflict of interest there. My decision to go was very well planned one. Sadly, I had to drop one. So I thought, no, I can always pursue my graphic design, but I can never get this year back. So I decided to enter Miss Zimbabwe that year and go to Miss World because apparently it was actually an anniversary year. And also because it was the turn of the century, or the new millennium actually, when it was going into 2000. So I wanted to be part of the charade that was going on, so I decided to do this year. And I can always pursue my graphic design later on.
She went on to win the Miss Zimbabwe pageant the same year, a win which opened the floodgates of success in her modeling career.
I won Miss Zimbabwe that year. I had to make it happen, otherwise it would have been a lost year. And I did go to London to compete at the Miss World pageant, so it's a big credit.
Hard work always brings with it great rewards. In 2001, Brita was also crowned the inaugural Miss Malaika, but immediately after winning the Miss Malaika title, Masalethulini went into hibernation. She resigned from the glitz and glamour of the modeling industry to become an image consultant.
I'm a consultant in it. I made a decision to pack away anything to do with pageantry on my own personal tip, because I felt like I'd run my race for that. I needed to now focus on other ambitions, because what Miss Malaika did was open doors for what it is that I may have wanted to pursue. So I felt that, there's time when you need to say, okay, enough, I've done enough. And for that year, it was quite intense. In fact, for the years previous, when I was in pageantry and modeling, I think I had some great experiences. But there came a time I said to myself, I need to start pursuing other things. And I'm just that type of person who likes to chase after goals and dreams. So I packed my pageantry stuff away. I wasn't dead quiet. I just got busy. That's all. I wasn't necessarily in the public eye.
What are you doing?
I was in business. I got into business. The first business I got into was I got into soft furnishings. I used to make furniture, things like curtains, anything to do with interior decor. I want to be one. I always got splinters in my fingers, so I get someone else to do the work. But I love construction of things. I realize my personality is more or less task oriented. I like to work with my hands. So anything when I create something, being an artist, that's where you'll find me generally.
Yeah.
Participating in beauty pageants, winning titles and being on the limelight comes along with both pros and cons. To Brita, It is up to the models to choose wisely which path to follow and make a name out of it.
There are great benefits, but it's a choice that each model chooses to make. Well, let's say an individual chooses to make, because not everybody is a model. To become successful in anything, you have to make a decision in terms of saying what are the benefits of being involved in a particular industry. It is a billion-dollar industry. You just need to know where to fit yourself in. So if you limit yourself to just saying, I'm a model and I want you to take pictures of me, it might not give you the necessary rewards that you'd like. Now, say financial rewards, or even just say pushing a brand. You need to understand how the whole entire industry works. You may say to yourself, I think I can run with this. So the doors were open. My name is my brand. So that's what precedes me. Even if you've never met me before, if my name is out there, you're more or less associated with a particular thing. So I can walk into town and some people won't even recognize that it's me. But when you say Brita Masalethulini, they'll be associating it with perhaps Miss Malaka or the Miss Zimbabwe pageant, or now radio, which I'm in, or modeling, or something that they're associated with. So the decision for a model to say I'm going to take advantage of whatever opportunities are there is up to them. There are scholarships that are made available. The same thing which I said, that your name goes out, people know you. So when you are top of mind, people can then say, okay, we want to be associated with you or not. You become a brand ambassador if you choose to. You can start businesses because people know who you are. They've done their checks on you, more or less your life is out there. Either they choose to associate you with you or not. And you now, because of the opportunities you have in this day and age that we're in, they're able to push in whichever way that you choose on the field. So the advantages are there, but it takes somebody who's got ambition to take advantage of it.
During her days as a model, her family was always a pillar of strength, and she drew inspiration from some of her family members, among other role models.
My late grandmother was a Miss Kimberly back in the days. So again, yeah, I tried to carry the baton as well. But she was based, well, she was in South Africa. So there was things about her that I loved, and her approach to life, her gracefulness, her drive, and her ambition as well. Just made it, gave me even more the desire to achieve what she might have achieved. But these other two ladies in modeling just did it for me, because I felt like they embodied, what was necessary in terms of being a proper beauty queen. From what I understood, they were ladies, the women who really just carried themselves with amazing confidence. They taught me what I needed to do when I was now on the world stage. So I never felt inadequate at any given time under their...
Models are usually associated with makeup and less of dirty work. Nonetheless, Masalethulini defied all odds and started her own business of manufacturing chemical detergents.
I'm actually doing chemicals, so I'm upskilling and doing chemicals. I like working with my hands and experimenting. Don't worry, I'm not building my phone anytime soon. I would love to do it. Yeah, but those days of ambition have gone another way. But yeah, that's what I'm into, chemicals.
Brita is also a radio announcer with a local radio station.
I do weekend breakfast, Saturdays and Sundays. So my programs are basically centered around family, and yeah, they're very relaxed as well and somewhat entertaining. So we try to create a mix of, we say edutainment, that's what it is. And I'm more of your old school type of music lover, so that's what I generally play on my shows. But I love it because I think talk radio is all about conversing, and I think we want to highlight issues that are very critical in nature and that are possibly of interest as well.
Masalethulini bemoans the lack of growth for the modeling industry, and she therefore encourages the establishment of reputable modeling agencies to provide quality training services to models.
Negatively, sadly, the industry has not had necessary support. And I look at the economic situation, understanding the position we have been in the past maybe 10 to 15 or 20 years. It's actually 15 plus years. That we've seen in agencies, unfortunately, not being able to get their models jobs because the economy is not able to support that. And so we have maybe trained models who are not working. Then there is social media, our love-hate friend, whereby anyone can be called a model. And that is very dangerous in a great sense.
It's very great.
I don't want to use the word slay queen because Siri has a very nasty way of describing what a slay queen really is. Yes, it's a statement that is used publicly and is thrown around, but I think people choose to interpret it their own way. But if you put yourself up as a model, a certified model is a trained model. They know how to work a camera, they know how to sell a product. It's not just about putting nice hair and wearing nice makeup. It's got to be telling a story which sells a product, just representing something. So if you're a model and maybe you say, I am flaunting myself, okay, what is backing it? All right, which gives you the right to call yourself that. In the past, we were governed by the rules, like I was saying, rules, codes of conduct, and mostly because we belonged to modeling agencies that had contracts that you signed. So in that regard, you could easily go to a client, or they would book you, and you're known to be coming from somewhere. So when you're now being used in an advert, there's an expectation of you to deliver a specific thing, and generally it's a conversation which is going three ways: the agency, the client, and you yourself, the model as well. That conversation is very important because there's money being spent choosing you to be that particular model. But model, and we see wonders.
Brita encourages fellow models to discover themselves and stop being apologetic in their careers.
I tried to push to do better. I've stopped apologizing for certain things because I realized that doesn't make sense. What I simply do is I do me, and I do what is necessary to be done in order to continue with my life. So being Brita is, I'm just a simple girl, doesn't like complications, but I'm an ambitious person as well, and I like to enjoy my life, and I love people, right? And if there's any chance I get to help another person, I take it, especially in the form of advising, counseling, coaching in any possible way. So I feel that's who essentially I am.
Being in the limelight of beauty pageants brings along glitz and glamour, and at the same time controversy. Brita has had her own share of both portions. Rumors of ill deeds by male judges and sponsors against the beauty queens become topical. However, Masalethulini pointed out that they remain rumors and she never experienced it during her days as a beauty queen. They are misconceptions and remain as such.
The sad ones, maybe. We don't know. We're never there. It's, rumors are spread and things are said. So it's all about, what is the girl deciding to do with herself? We've heard of abuses taking place, but from my own personal experience, having been involved in major pageants, there's no room for that. If a girl decides she wants to make herself available to someone, she's just putting a digging pit for herself, because it's not going to get her very far. There are very strict codes of conduct and rules that govern pageantry that will not allow for these demeanors to actually take place. So I'm speaking more so on the national pageants, Miss Zimbabwe. I did Miss Lucky 7 Zimbabwe as well, which was then going to take me to the Miss Lucky 7 Southern Africa. And so there is actually strict codes of conduct. And I don't even know where girls get the time to have engagement with anyone during the time that they're actually in camp. And if someone is actually saying, I'll make you win, that's enough. It doesn't work like that unless if it's a dingy pageant. The model is somebody who's more or less working for a commercial purpose. Like we advertise, we display, and we kind of put out a brand. It's not necessarily about your intellect, but it's about the particular look that a particular brand is trying to push. And maybe the market is receptive to it at that time. So it could be clothing, it could be a product of some sort. So as a model, you're supposed to sell whatever it is that the client is requesting to be sold. So it's not necessarily a personality thing, it's more of an aesthetic thing. Whereas a beauty queen, normally there's a title that is associated with it, and there's a mandate behind that title. So the person is an ambassador for that particular pageant. So yeah, it's now testing one's intellect, knowledge, and whatever it is that particular pageant is trying to advertise. So, or to put out there. So there is a clear distinction, but in a sense there is a connection. We could say they're cousins. We could say they're cousins.
Maybe I can't say they were regrets. They were lessons learned. Yeah, lessons learned in that there are things that you really could have done better. Yeah, I felt I could have pushed myself a bit more. I could have given myself, put 100% into some of my efforts and been a bit more deliberate or intentional about doing certain things. So yeah, those are some aspects. So I can't put a finger on one specific thing. I feel like it's a whole different journey that I was on. But there are things I do regret and say, this, although I can't say I regret, but I learned lessons, hard lessons from this could have been handled a little better. Okay. Yeah.
I prioritize things. I think daily I have to prioritize. First, my family comes first, that then hammers on the decisions I then make thereafter. So my priorities, I think I'm very deliberate about what comes first and what matters. I put that first. I think, could I say in a short summary, is that I think one, you need to be intentional about your life. Okay, and don't let time pass you by, and don't let things happen to you. Be the writer of your own story, otherwise someone else will write it for you. Whatever it is that you want to do in this life, do. Don't be afraid, okay? You will face a few hurdles, but that's all part of the growth. So just keep pushing and know that you are loved. By me, at least.